and that's only because of the organization I'm going to mention. So the one thing I'm going to talk about is the one event that really set off my life and changed me completely as a person. So about 10 years ago, I was a really nerdy kid. Not too many friends. What friends I had, we did LAN parties every other weekend, we did D&D, we did the whole thing. But not too many people, didn't really know that much of the community. Your stereotypical nerd, early 2000s. So my grandfather was an electrical engineer here in Rochester. I'm yet another several generation Rochesterian. Loads of fun. And he had these connections with RIT, and he found out that this robotics competition was going on. And I'm like, cool, I like robots. I like seeing other high schoolers do this. We really came in knowing nothing what to expect. So it comes to Saturday, it takes place in March, it was snowy. I think they had to deal with a snowstorm the day after. But we go to RIT, it's in their Gordon Field house, it's huge. We walk in the doors and the first thing I hear is just blasting music. About 1,000 kids of my own age, all interested in tech, all working on robots, dancing, hanging out, helping each other out. And I was just floored by this. This being 9th grader me, I had never experienced anything like this. To see your own community that you know you're gonna fit into. And we just sit there for a couple hours, we walk around the pits, you see people heads in robots that were about 5 feet tall, but extended to 12 feet that year. It was a weird game. But this was the first time I was introduced to FIRST robotics, which is for inspiration, recognition in science and technology. It's been around for maybe 25 years, started by Dean Kamen. Really cool organization to help introduce kids to STEM and just overall learning things. And I'm just floored by this. Never seen anything like this, never seen kids my own age. This was the first time I've even met females into tech, which was, as a high schooler in 9th grade, what can I say? And I just walk around and we're sitting behind these people, we're all the way in the back bleachers. We're sitting behind this one team, and I just write down the website that's on the back of their shirt. Okay, a couple weeks later, I do an email, I'm like, this is what I want to do, this is the one thing that's going to motivate me, find friends, that whole deal. And you know how you're told as a kid, never talk to strangers? From then on out, I started talking to as many strangers as possible. Because I got in contact with them, they got me in contact with another stranger. At one point, I got called out of class in 9th grade by some high administrator, and I started my own robotics team. And you still go in, first year, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. It's 6 weeks of constant building a robot, learning electronics for the first time, burning myself, getting kicked in the face by a piece of wood, coming backwards on a bandsaw. Yeah, not a bandsaw, a table saw. Thankfully, no concussion. But that first experience of actually competing and being surrounded and making friends was unbelievable, and it just kept me into organizing. It kicked me into things that would eventually lead to the Mini Maker Faire, and it just led to so many other things. It's like seeing for the first time for me, just not knowing that there were other people out there, and that there was a nation full of people. A couple years later in high school, I had eventually become friends with the Penfield High School robotics team, and became friends with a couple of our mentors. Come championships, my team never made it out. We won one award over 3 years, and we had to even argue to have the team around to the school administration. They were like, no, we're going to rebrand, whatever. couple years later that year, Penfield, who saved me, helped me out, rescued the team, they took me to Atlanta on their own dime for championship. Championship is 400 teams, each team ranging between 10 to 80 students. I'm talking about 20,000 people, all into tech, all into robots, business, art, you name it, you meet them. And it's worked. It's just a whole community. And it just led to so many paths, led to RIT, friends there, I met Al there, and we had some fun stories. But talking to strangers and going out, that one experience, everything I've ever done can be traced back to that one occasion of going out and seeing these students. And that's kind of my one story.